Hi there, Sherry Schreiber of gettingbetter.com. And I was moved to make this video today because I've just recently been through a physical trauma, and it taught me so much about how children can suffer when the mommy is suffering. And I don't have children. I don't have human children. I have animal children. I have 3 cats, whom I adore, and a doggie that I adopted a little over 6 months ago. I call her my therapy dog because when I finally retired from my work, I felt like I needed an animal that could give a little something more back to me. She's wonderful. But this setback, this physical setback, this trauma has taught me so much. I've experienced, I could always relate to my clients' pain, their emotional pain, because I've lived through it. At 20, I had a breakdown. I came very close to hospitalization. And as I've said in some of my other videos, I had a good psychiatrist back then who somehow helped me turn the corner on that. And start to really be very inspired to rebuild myself. I was determined never to be in that much agony again. So I knew I had to get busy on reconstructing me after working with him for about 10 and a half months. And I have. And I've done a pretty good job of that. And all I've ever wanted to do is help people begin to heal their heart and their soul in the ways that I had learned to heal mine over all these years that have passed since that emotional upheaval. But my recent trauma, I bumped my left shin, one morning a month ago or so. And I didn't think anything of it. I did what I normally did. I rubbed it real hard to try and displace broken blood vessels and cells and get healthy circulation to the area. It wasn't a bad bump, really. It wasn't. I've had much worse bruises than this. And as my Twitter followers know, I'd been making commentary about this injury because it was so isolating to me. I was literally homebound. I couldn't get anywhere in my home without a walker. I could not go outside. I couldn't get to the toilet without a walker. And I couldn't walk at all. I could barely stand. It was so painful, this broken blood vessel, as it turns out, in my leg. And my leg swelled to a gargantuan size. Imagine having a football placed under your skin, just to the left of your shin bone. My leg, my left calf, was larger than my waist. Now I'm skinny, but still, when your leg gets about 3 times the size that it normally is, the pain, the searing pain was excruciating 24/7. Now, there's a reason I'm giving you this backdrop, okay? Because this injury, this setback, brought my focus in a very sharp way to a lot of the stuff that I blab about on Twitter and that I write about in my articles and that I've talked about in terms of parenting deficits that a lot of us have experienced. um, in this lifetime. And the spin-off, the consequences that we suffer due to those parenting deficits. Now, here I was in survival mode for about three and a half weeks. I just prayed every minute of the day that God would help me endure that pain. It was unimaginable. I've never had pain like that. I mean, I've had pain, but not like this. So these days I'm thinking of my legs as like they're made of glass or eggshells or something, because I never want to go through this again, ever. And you shouldn't want to either. Anyway, and I did go to an emergency ward about this, but they did nothing for me. I just love hospitals. You're in trauma and they do nothing for you. But anyway, this traumatic event in my life brought me, as I said, into sharp focus with what happens to children that grow up with a mommy who isn't sound, who isn't well, who isn't emotionally stable, who is maybe depressed, to where she has very few resources to share with her child or children. Yeah, really brought this home to me. Because my poor dog, I mean, I still can't feel comfortable walking her. I mean, I'm on the other side of the pain now, and steadily, very gradually, I'm getting, the leg is repairing itself daily, just a tiny bit at a time. But I've still got this hematoma, and my dog tends to be, well, very eager when we go out on walks. So poor thing hasn't been walked in over a month. Poor thing. And she started acting out. She peed in my hallway one night. She's been chewing everything she can get her mouth around, just gnawing on stuff that she's never been a chewer, but she's acting out her frustrations like, Mom, like, what's the deal here? You're lying around like a vegetable. You can't even move. You can't take me out. You can't go outside with me when I go to do my business or go pick up avocados in the yard for me to gnaw on that have dropped off the tree. She likes those hard avocados. Satisfies that chewing thing for her. I couldn't get out. I couldn't get out to even pick up dog droppings. I mean, for 3 weeks, 3 solid weeks. And when I finally got out, it was 3 weeks worth of dog droppings that I could barely walk to get around and get them. I mean, it was a lot of pain. So what this did for me is it got me thinking about impaired mothers. Impaired mothers. My cats, I mean, they were just very cuddly with me and sweet. The dog, too, would look at me with sympathetic eyes. But she's been depressed. Her whole life has been disrupted by my injury. And so it brought into acute focus this issue of depressed mothers, dissatisfied mothers, borderline personality disordered mothers who are barely hanging in there. They're just barely surviving. And they have so few resources to share with their children. I mean, the children can't be happy with a mother who's impaired. My furry children have not been happy with a mother who's impaired, could barely get to the kitchen stand to prepare their meals and feed them, for God's sake. Thank God for Chewy.com, who delivers food, pet food. because I couldn't get out and shop. I couldn't. A couple of neighbors, by the grace of God, were willing to pick up prescriptions for me to help with the pain, uh, uh, pick up food staples for me. But there's only so much you can tell somebody about what you need at the market. So I had these boxes delivered to my front door of pet food. It was a horrific experience, is all I can tell you. The most horrific experience I've ever been through on a physical level. Now, I've had extreme acute emotional pain, okay? But this was physical pain that absolutely put me out of commission. Couldn't walk, couldn't stand, couldn't be mobile. It was like a shut-in over here. Couldn't even go outside. It was an effort even just to get my mail out of my mailbox that's on my front porch. And I thought, oh my God, the number of us who grew up with deeply, deeply damaged, impaired mothers, miserable women, unhappy, depressed, miserable women hanging on by a thread, surviving, merely surviving. And what that does to their offspring. Really brought it home to me. It was like a reawakening because I felt bad for my animals. I really did. I knew I was in survival mode. I couldn't do much of anything for them besides just lie here on my couch with my damn leg elevated with ice on it. And boy, oh boy, I tell you. So the stuff I blab about on my Twitter feed, and I don't have a ton of followers. I'm not one of these people who has tens or hundreds of thousands of followers, like a select few. Because, well, I am an acquired taste, and I'm very aware of that. Most people don't want to hear or see or look at the truth in life. It's a little too disturbing or distressing for them. And well, I'm known for posting those types of tweets. But this has been a real experience, and I'm so grateful now to be on the other side of my pain. I'm so grateful to be able to walk, to stand, to prepare my animals meals, to give them more affection, attention, because I'm not just struggling to survive and in excruciating pain every minute of every day. So I equated this physical setback with emotional setback. It's been a long, long time since I've been deeply depressed and thought about ending my life because of that depression. Been a long, long, long time. I've worked very hard to never be in that position again and rebuild myself. But this physical setback really had me back in survival mode. My mother was schizophrenic. She was diagnosed when I was 7 years old, 2 years after my parents divorced. And she had to be hospitalized a lot. And I have a sort of a newfound appreciation for how difficult it was for her to survive that mental illness and still attend to her 2 children. I have an older sister. And how my older sister has serious emotional deficits because she was trying to survive. So I grew up feeling like an only child. Shit happens in life. We have accidents. We have setbacks. Some people lose limbs due to these accidents. Some people get migraine headaches. Some people live with excruciating pain every day of their life. It's chronic pain. I feel so bad for these people, I really do. But the thing is, I knew before I turned 20, I wasn't going to have children. I knew I had no capacity to love children the way they needed to be loved. I made the very conscious decision and choice not to become a mother in this lifetime. That has served me very well. I knew I wasn't equipped. Didn't have it in me. And I've never regretted that choice. Because I couldn't get what I needed as a child. So I knew I wasn't equipped to give a child what they needed. I want you to think seriously about this. If you're of childbearing age and you think you want to do it better for a child than your parents did with you or your mother did with you, I want you to think very seriously about this. You cannot give away what you do not own. You have no template for how to love a child well enough if you weren't loved well enough. It's okay. There are enough people in the world. Be a big sister. Become a big brother for a kid. Practice. Get a pet. See how well you do with loving that animal and not neglecting its needs. I had to neglect my animals' needs, my 4 animals' needs during this crisis time. I had no choice. Now, we don't think of emotional pain this way. We don't think of emotional pain as preventing us from giving to our children what they need from us. In terms of stability and love and affection and attention and positive mirroring and discipline when we need it and boundaries and limits. But I have to tell you, folks, every experience we have in life is a learning curve. This was mine recently. It really brought my attention in a very immediate way to deficits in parenting and why they happen. So I'm hoping you can take this in, that I haven't been rambling too long. And thank you, by the way, P.S., to all my Twitter followers who were so kind, who were so attentive, who were so supportive, who were so nurturing during this very difficult time I had, and how isolated I felt in my Twitter community, just rose to the occasion and helped me feel so not alone in my pain. Thank you. I mean this sincerely. Thank you for that. You have no idea how much this meant to me. And I love all of you for this. I really do. I'm getting choked up right now. But I so appreciate all the support and love and care and prayers that you sent me during this crisis and my very difficult journey surviving it. So thank you again, and God bless you. And bye for now.